3 levels of fire starting. Level 1, 9-volt battery and steel wool. The first method is using a 9-volt battery and steel wool. When a 9-volt battery's terminals are touched to the steel wool, electrons attempt to move through steel fibers, but are met with resistance due to the very thin strands. This causes the steel to heat up to the point it ignites. The appearance of the steel wool will become darkish, grayish blue after it burns because it has bonded with the oxygen in the air, making a new substance called iron oxide or rust. Level 2, ferro rod. The second method is using a ferro rod and a cotton ball. The ferro rod is made of a metal mixture called ferrocerium that is developed somewhere around 1903. It's a fairly recent invention. It includes metals such as iron, cerium, lanthanum, and magnesium. To start, fluff your cotton ball a little bit to give yourself a bigger target. When the striker is scraped down on the rod, it shaves off a tiny piece of ferrocerium that reacts with the oxygen in the air. The ferrocerium burns at a high temperature. If the spark lands on fuel, like a cotton ball, the fire spreads easily. Level 3, flint and steel. The third method is the most difficult, but it's been around for a really long time. It dates back for thousands of years, when people would use iron and flint in order to start fires. Flint is a sedimentary rock composed of crystalline quartz. It has a hardness that is greater than that of steel. Similar to the ferro rod, the user strikes the flint against the steel to shave off a shard of metal that will react with the oxygen in the air. The reason why this method is more difficult than using this ferro rod is because the steel burns at a lower temperature when it reacts with the oxygen. Often the user will have a material called char cloth to land the spark on. Char cloth has a low ignition temperature, so once the spark spreads on the char cloth, it can spread to other materials. To set up, simply place a piece of char cloth in a nest of cotton balls. Hold the flint in your dominant hand and the steel in your non-dominant hand. Use the flint to shave a piece of steel down into the kindling nest. Here in slow motion, you could see a tiny spark land on the char cloth. That tiny spark can turn into an ember. It starts glowing when you blow on it. If you carefully nurse the ember and continue to blow it, it's going to spread out along the char cloth. The next step is to fold the cotton ball into a deeper nest around the char cloth to get the fire to spread and catch onto the cotton. Continue to blow the nest. Maybe pick it up or place it onto your tray and cover it with your hands to continue to gently blow on it. It's going to start smoking and it's going to eventually start burning if you continue to be persistent. There you have it, 3 ways of starting a fire, each one progressively more difficult. The oldest method, with the steel and flint, is probably the most difficult, and we can really appreciate how easy it is to start fires nowadays to cook dinner. Bonus, magnifying glass. If time permits, a bonus type of fire starting would be using a magnifying glass. A magnifying glass is a convex shape because it is thicker in the middle and thinner at the edges. The shape of the glass can bend the rays of light that pass through it. The light energy of the sun can be focused on a single point when you hold the magnifying glass parallel to the rays of the sun. If the camper has found that there is a small dot on light on the paper they are trying to burn and hold that position, the light energy of the sun can convert into enough thermal energy to burn the paper. Don't forget to keep in mind safety when working with fire starting. Try and tie back long hair and roll up loose sleeves on your clothes. If you have a windy day, try and weigh down your cotton ball or whatever it is you're trying to light on fire, because if the wind picks it up, you might get chased by a flaming cotton ball. In addition, When you're working with the flint and steel, keep a box of Band-Aids nearby and try not to slice your hand with the flint because it is very sharp. And lastly, when you're done setting things on fire, and it might be still smoldering and it might look like the flame is out, it's best to make sure that you pour a ton of water on it and then dispose of it as needed.